Hello traders and Market Club members everywhere. Adam Hewison here, coming to you from the digital studios of Market Club. Well, we're going to start off with looking at a stock called Google. Well-known stock, has a big move today. As a matter of fact, Google is up today 2.37% so far for the day. Why it's up is because a lady from Morgan Stanley, the chief financial officer, as a matter of fact, Ruth Porat, is leaving to join Google. This is seen as a very positive move. But one thing I want to bring to your attention with Google, which hasn't been brought up, I haven't seen anywhere, is this. If you look at Google and then you look at the swings in Google, you'll notice very quickly that the swings tend to move from this level here, this is 490, okay, up to 540. That's a $50 swing, okay? Just remember that, $50. The next move was from 500, so if you add 50 to 500, it takes you up to 550, which is right here, another $50 swing. You see there and there. If you go from 530 up to here, that takes another $50 swing. So again, if you move from this level here, which is the 545, and we add $50 to that, it should take us up to the 595 swing target zone. Okay? So if that's true, it's also going to bring it up against this resistance area here. So that's how we see Google. It's, I think, a very low risk buy here because it's a lot of strength. It's broken over the parabolic. All of our trade triangles are positive, indicating a higher trend. So watch Google very closely for this next $50 swing to this area. Let's move on. Gold has been very strong. It's broken over the parabolic here. It hasn't turned our weekly yet. We're still very patient. The reason you see no data here, this is spot gold. It's traded around the world 24/7, 6 days a week. So that's the reason why. But I showed you yesterday what we're looking for in this market, and it's pretty simple. We're looking for this double bottom that we had to hold and for it to move higher. The fact is, you've got James Bullard talking about inflation. You've got a problem in Greece. I think there's going to be a run into the precious metals, but what you want to wait for are really these triangles. Right now, the green daily triangle says get out of the market, do not be short the market, and this is the key one we're looking at right here. We're looking at the weekly trade triangle. When that turns green, buy. That's going to be a good buy in my opinion. Let's move on. What's leading the pack up here right now is silver, believe it or not. We have a plus 90. Notice all of our trade triangles are positive. Again, there's no volume data on silver because it's traded interbank around the world, so you never know exactly what the volume is, but it's usually very high. It's particularly high from when you see this type of action. Now look, we covered our position, our short position, if we had a short position, because we used the weekly right here. We covered that position at 15.79. The market's actually a full dollar higher than that, so it's making the move. And the key level to watch here, in my opinion, is the highs that we saw back here on the close only, about 1850. That's the level I think we'll get to before we have any really strong resistance in this market. Looking at the NASDAQ is new highs. Of course, Google helped today with its strong upward move, but generally speaking, the trend clearly is up in this market, and it's no reason to want to fade that market. The Dow hasn't fared quite so well as the NASDAQ, but it's still trying to make a high, make a move up. We still have the red weekly trade triangle, which is somewhat crimping the momentum here, but generally speaking, if that turns green, which it will, I think, you want to be long this market. I think there's still a lot of retirees and people on fixed income want to move into stocks, and I think that's going to be another catalyst to push these markets higher. Moving on to the S&P is very close to making a new high. You can see it's right here. We're only talking the highest close we've had here is 2,117. We're only about 11 points from there, so I think there's a good chance we'll see that happen perhaps later in the week. But generally speaking, I think the trend is clearly going to be on the upside. It just has to move over these resistance areas. So watch that weekly trade triangle. Now, we want to talk quickly about some of the weekend trades we did. They didn't turn out particularly well, and I want to show you why. So we're going to go to a candlestick chart, and you can see we bought Biogen at 476. We exited at 462.99 on the opening, as we said we would, and there was about a 3.5% loss in that market. Not particularly bad, but not particularly good either. Moving on to our next market, Nike, we were in that position. We got long at $102.29. We were out at 101.05 on the opening, and we took a small loss, about a 1% loss there. Now, to the bright light in this whole thing, we didn't do that on our trade, if you remember, because the market didn't close close or at its high on Monday, so we did not make that trade. On Darden, this is a bright spot. We got long on Friday, and of course had a big move on Monday, and of course it followed through today. We got out of that with a 5% gain. So all told, we made about 0.5% or broke even on those trades. Not particularly great, but no big losses, and that's the key. On the Eurodollar, you see it's still trying to make a turn. It really hasn't done that, but at least the momentum for the most part is down. Again, there's the cash market, so there's no volume, but the trend is clearly on the sidelines, minus 65. It's a trading range. The weekly is indicating the trend is still down, and the daily says just to be out for the moment. Now, crude oil is interesting. It did break above the parabolic. I'll get that closer in for you. Let's just do a 6-month chart, and you can see it did break above the parabolic. And it's interesting when you had the bearish news of the Saudis are going to continue to pump and pump and pump more oil, that oil did not go down. I think that's an interesting telltale thing. So that's it. That's it for today. Check out Google and check out the indices, and be sure to trade with the trade triangles. If you have any comments you want to leave, please leave them below this post, and we'll be happy to answer them for you. Have a great trading day, everyone.